It is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time. It is the media flip-flopping from last week's the Bengals suck narrative to now the Bengals are a great team and one of the best teams in the league. It is amazing how things have just flip-flopped so quickly in 1 week. In 1 week, you go from a team that can't make the playoffs, or isn't a playoff team. Joe Burrow is the worst in the world. His years are behind him. We're clinging on to a Super Bowl narrative that isn't there anymore. And now we are an AFC championship team. Bruh. You gotta be flipping kidding me, bro. Anyway, I love it. I do love it because it is just funny. Because don't worry, it's going to switch again. It's going to switch again in the future. It will. We'll have a future where they'll say, oh, we suck again. All it takes is if we lose to Baltimore in week 11, the Bengals suck again. But then if we win the next week, well, maybe we're good again. Let's just listen to what Colin Cowherd has to say. Don't really like Colin Cowherd. I made fun of him many times on this channel because he usually bashes us to a certain degree, so I don't really like talking, but listening to him, but this is him actually saying we're good. Let's go.
Since the league went to 17 games, 21 teams have started 0-2. Only 2 have made the playoffs. So the list of teams this year that are 0-2 include one of those teams that went 0-2 and made the playoffs, the Bengals. And I will tell you right now, I think the Bengals have a legitimate shot to face Kansas City in the AFC Championship. Here's what we know about the Cincinnati Bengals. They never get good until pumpkin spice lattes are available. So they're about a week from turning it on. Once the leaves turn orange, they get good. Joe Burrow's been 0-2 multiple times. 5th time in 6 years they're 0-2. They're fine. Okay, once Joe Burrow's got the new hair thing, once the roots go dark again, they're going to be just fine. I'm in on Cincinnati. Why? Coach. Did you see what Jake Browning did last year? A backup quarterback with Zach Taylor? Stop telling me Zach Taylor can't coach. He's more than capable. Not Andy Reid, more than capable. Quarterback A, pass rush A, weapons right now a B, but T. Higgins comes around, they're back to being a B plus A minus. They're going to be fine. So I'm not worried at all. Even against Kansas City in the 4th quarter, they had double the yards of Kansas City. On the road, Arrowhead, against an excellent top 3 defense in the league. They're going to be fine. There are teams that are 0-2, like the Ravens have O-line issues. The Rams have major injury issues. Those teams are in trouble. The Giants, a lot of things. There are teams that are 0-2. Carolina's just bad. But Cincinnati is a pass interference call from being 1-1, and they went toe-to-toe and down the stretch, looked every bit as good as Kansas City, and I think Kansas City is a better version than last year's Super Bowl team. So think of teams in terms of components. Think of teams in terms of component. Do you have an A quarterback? Check. A pass rush? Check. Eventually A weapons? Check. Coach? Capable. I say this. You get to a Super Bowl, it's not all Burrow, okay? Zach Taylor's, he's from the Sean McVay tree, like Kevin O'Connell. There's 2 groups of coaches in this league that almost all their assistants work. Sean McVay's and Kyle Shanahan's. All
right, so let's break this down. First off, yes, everything he's saying is absolutely correct. He is absolutely 100%, which is why it's so funny every single season that this always happens. It's, well, the Bengals start off slow, right? First week, we lose. Bengals suck. Bengals are the worst team in football. They're garbage. They can't win. They can't do anything right. They're going to have an awful season. Sell your stock. Sell everything on the Bengals. They're trash. Then, the next week, or we eventually will win a game. This. And again, this is why I always find the media so funny. Because they know all of this, and every single year, this is what they say after we start off slow and get going. It's always, well, the Bengals always start off slow. We knew they were going to get going eventually. We knew they were going to be a good team eventually. They start off slow. But you spend the first week trashing us and bashing us and saying we're awful and garbage. And in the second week, we do better. And now we'll automatically, yeah, they're probably going to go to the championship versus the Chiefs. It is like the never-ending cycle with these analysts, I swear. Now, Colin, I will give him props. He didn't really trash us last week. He really didn't. He didn't go too crazy on us. He actually did the opposite. He didn't talk about us. He talked to Jordan Edelman about the game, but that was pretty much it. He really didn't cover us. And that's usually not like him. Usually he'll cover a game that we play, and if we play bad, he'll talk about it. But he was actually very radio silent. So I'm not sure if he realized all the other analysts are going crazy about us, saying we suck and we're trash and we're garbage. And maybe that's why he kind of stayed clear of it. Or maybe it was because of the fact that the Ratbirds are 0-2 and they're not looking too great right now. And some other things are going on right now. And he had a lot of things to talk about with football being back, right? Maybe that's the case. But I just find it funny is like the same take he's saying here is the same take every single media source out there is saying right now. But last week, that we can't talk about that. They could have said every single thing they said right now, they could have said last week, but they didn't. Last week, they spent the whole entire week bashing us. You're garbage, you're trash, you're the worst thing ever. But this week, now they have all these receipts on why we were bad last week, but we're not really bad, though, because this is why. You could have said the same thing last week, but you decided instead to run our names in the mud, and now you're like, oh, we can't run the Bengals' name in the mud anymore because they looked really good versus the Chiefs. We can't trash them. Well, what are we going to do? We could talk about other teams. You know what? Let's now talk and say that they're good. And let's be on that side that they're good now. So that when they start getting good and they start kicking off and going off here, we could be the guys that said they were good before they took off. And I think that's what analysts do. They see a team like the Bengals, who they know start off 0-1, 0-2, so they start trashing you. Then, once they see you start kicking it off, they want to be that, they want to be the analyst that says, hey, I told you guys that the Bengals were good now. Even if they just trashed you, they were the guy. Remember, they were the team. They were the analysts who said it. So stupid. So freaking stupid. Again, like I said, Colin Cowherd, you actually did not trash us last week, and I have to give you props for that. But you have trashed us a lot in the past. So I'm not gonna, take away that in any way. You are not saved like Nick Wright is. Nick Wright, for some reason, got saved because, I don't know. Maybe the Brandon Perna's curse wheel did something. I don't know. He got saved because now he talks good about us. But there was a very long time where on my channel I have videos of it where he trashed us all the time. And then he started talking good about us. So I gotta give Nick Wright credit because at least he's kind of consistent with it now. But he did flip-flop completely like a politician, so who knows. Maybe he'll flip-flop back. I'll see you guys in the next one.